And it's okay for me to step out and say, this is what I want to do for me now because I'm not happy. Maybe I'm not fulfilled. You're allowed to say, I want to try this over here because I'm not dead yet.
Did you push record?
Thanks so much for tuning into our second act with Paige and Silka.
For your second act of life. Hey, Silka.
Hi, Paige. Paige, today we want to keep talking about relationships. So many questions on relationships, whether it's starting a new one or leaving an old one, an existing one. And we received a comment that really it hit home for me as well, and that is making the decision to leave a long-term marriage. And what was interesting was that about the guilt, it's making the decision to do something good for yourself, that women feel guilty about that. Talk to me about that.
Wow, there's a lot to say with this. And it goes back to too, Silka, about how we were raised in our generations too, and I still see it today, that, women, you stick it out. You can keep doing it all. You can make this happen. You can make this work. And if there's kids involved, even if they're adult kids that have kids and these are your grandchildren, there's still this guilt that women have that they are not allowed to say, you know what? Yes, was a really good guy. We had a great run. The contract, the spiritual contract, the soulful contract, the human contract is done now. And it's okay for me to step out and say, this is what I want to do for me now because I'm not happy. Maybe I'm not fulfilled. Maybe this is just not working, or it's stagnant and it's not going anywhere. You're allowed to say, I want to try this over here because I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, no, exactly. How do you let go of the guilt? I mean, like I said, I can totally identify with that. I didn't have kids. My husband wasn't horrible, but gosh, we were not happy. It was done. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there's a lot of guilt.
So first you have to identify what's the guilt about, because the guilt could be about so many things. And also, if you're having guilt, have you opened up to people around you, whether it's family or close friends? And I see this all the time where family or close friends will say, well, you know what? I don't know. You have a pretty good thing here. You're 55 or you're 65 or you're 70, and I don't know what you're going to find. And what about security and stability? Oh, and what if we go into a recession? Like, there's all these things that people say that have nothing to do with you and has everything to do with what's going on with them and their fears.
Great point.
So you have to really remember that, if you do have somebody talking in your ear, figure out what is their stuff and what is your stuff. Because your knowing always tells you, I really want to go, I really want to go. Or you could be in a place where I'm not sure if I want to go. But if you really want to go, and it's the guilt that's saying, don't do it because, well, you'll be breaking up the family, and we have grandkids, and we have kids, and we have a routine. What? You're messing up the routine. What's the routine going to look like? Guess what? It's just a routine. That's all it is. It can be shifted and changed, and everybody can acclimate in a new way.
Yeah, great. Again, great point. And what, sometimes you have the people talking into your ear negatively. What I found when I finally opened up about it, and it was like, what took you so long?
Well, that was good. That was good that you had that. But there's so many people out there, the older that we get, don't have that because there's fears around, you can't be alone when you're a certain age now, and what are you going to do? And what is the difference, whether you're 25 or 65?
Right. Well, and the move, I can totally identify with that. I moved halfway across the country. I left where I lived for 25 years. I did go back home. I consider California my home. This is where I grew up. But there is, I was leaving my sister then. And she was really the only family I had. And I know I made her sad. But life takes you in different directions. She's now in Florida, and she would have left me to go to Florida because that's where her life is now. We're in California, and we have the best time seeing each other 2 to 3 times a year, more so than we would have if we had each other accessible.
Right. And sometimes you have to leave an environment, literally leave a state, because your soul is being pulled to go over here. Like there is just a pulling that I'm supposed to go over here. You may not even know the whole reason why, but you just know I'm supposed to be here. And good for her or anybody else who wants to say, you know what? I'm done with the relationship. This was good. I learned, I grew. I'm done with the environment or the state or the landscape that I live in. I want something new. Or maybe you want to go towards where your friends are, where more of your friends are. Because if I remember correctly, one of the comments we got, and I see this a lot, that women will move with their husbands for a job for their husbands. So they move away from their friends, they move away from whatever it is that they felt comfortable with. So now if you're at the time in your life where like, you know what, I want to move back to where my friends are, or back to where, like you did, Silka, back to where whatever home meant for you or for somebody else, go for it.
Yeah. Well, that's how I ended up in Texas, is the job. Exactly.
Right.
I gave up my career, my what I really wanted to do to follow him across the country. And
there's nothing wrong with that, because it's an experience, you grow in certain ways. It's, if you think about this, who was it? Somebody the other day had said to me, oh, my so-and-so, she's on her fourth husband. And I went, well, let's clarify this for a minute. Okay, think about all the relationships that you've been in. Does anybody ever say, oh, you've had 4 boyfriends? No, but when it comes to marriages, it's, there must be something wrong with you. You've had 4 marriages. Just a paper. We're here to engage with different people at different times in our lives for different reasons.
Yeah, the paper makes it more complicated legally.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it does make it more complicated.
Yeah, I can't, the grandchildren, I'm hearing that more and more and more and more.
Yes.
Because now I'm at that age where it's grandchildren,
yes.
not children. Guilt associated with that. I too think, and this is just my opinion, that distance makes the heart grow fonder in that relationship as well. I certainly wouldn't want to be a live-in babysitter, or, I don't know exactly what her specific guilt issues are. But I think the enjoyment of children and grandchildren is something you don't leave. You find different ways to nurture it. Do I not get it because I don't have biological grandchildren?
No, everybody looks at it differently. I've got clients that look at it like you, and I have other clients that want to be close by because they want to be in their grandchildren's life every single day, because that gives them meaning. So it all depends on, where you are and what you want and what you need. And then there's some women who say, you know what, I am done doing for everybody else. I need to go and do for myself. And you know what, I'll travel back and see whoever, but I need some time away. So everybody has a different space of where they are. And I'm here to say there is no wrong answer at all in any of them.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to, how does this woman, how do people, period, allow themselves to be happy and to let go of guilt? Such a horrible word.
First identify what's the guilt about. And I would really suggest working with a therapist, a coach, to work through what it's about. Because the choices that you make, if you make a choice out of guilt or fear, it won't be the good choice. It won't be the best choice for you. So have clarity around what the guilt's about, or if you have fear, because they usually go together sometimes. So have clarity about what it's about and work through it. So when you make the decision, you're like, you know what, I might be a little nervous about this. I'm sure on one part, but I'm a little nervous, but I'm clear about the fear, and I'm clear about the guilt, and I'm not carrying it anymore. So does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. I was going to ask you how you want to close out the segment, and I think you just did.
There you go.
No, we all deserve to be happy. We deserve to be happy, and that is not selfish. So on that note, let's close it out, and I'll see you on our next segment of Our Second Act with Paige and Silka.
For your second act of life. Bye.
If you haven't haven't already done so, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. The button is right over here. Just click on through to YouTube. When you see the little bell right next to the subscribe button, hit that too, and we'll notify you every time we post a new video. See you next time.